Alright guys, Maik Wiedenbach here, coming live at you from the park, obviously. How to cut, aka get leaner. Okay, so that is another mystery, like we talked about the bulking part. Cutting seems to be, just readjust my mic here, seems to be a struggle. Cutting seems to be just as bad, right? So when it comes to cutting, people will tell you like, yo bro, you gotta go zero carb and only eat broccoli, or just do tons of cardio or whatever, right? So let's just break it down and use, as always, science to guide us, right? So here's the thing. When we say cutting, what we need is losing body fat and keeping muscle, right? Why is that important? Because keeping the muscle is different than just losing weight, okay? So let's clear up a few myths. One, there are no diet foods, okay? There are no fat burning foods. That is hocus pocus. Get that out of your head. The diet foods are just usually foods that are lower caloric and more filling. But you can theoretically diet on gummy bears and protein shakes if you hit a caloric deficit. Protein shakes. So let's hammer this out. So you need to be in a caloric deficit, right? There's basically two ways to go about it. You can either cut the carbs or cut the fats. Cutting the protein is not a good idea because that will be leading to muscle loss. Understood? Good. Okay. So if you are cutting your carbohydrates, you can up the fats a little bit, and vice versa. So basically what you can do is you take your body weight and then your goal weight times 15, and that's your starting point, and you work from there. With 200 pounds, you can start with 3,000 calories, provided you're reasonably lean. So you take 200 grams of protein, that's about 800 calories. Now you have another 2,200 left to play with. You can do another, let's say 150 carbs, then you add 600, and then you add, your fats for the rest, or vice versa, okay? Other diet forms such as intermittent fasting or keto or whatever, whatever gets you there is fine. I don't like them all that much, so I'm more of a low-fat guy. Why? Because when you train with zero or like very low carbs, your muscles just never look quite full, which can affect motivation and also productivity of training. But if you can get diced with just going really low on the carbohydrates, go for it, right? Then that's your thing, Personally, I don't like it, but that's just me. So as long as there's a caloric deficit, you will get it. Now, training. Here's the thing. Repeat after me. This is very, very important. The role of training when dieting is not to burn calories. What? Yes. The role of training is to keep the muscle on, okay? What does that mean? So, sadly, your body, once you're short, hairy, and fat, it has no intention whatsoever to make you tall, lean, beautiful, and muscular. You know why? Because that makes no sense in the sense of our evolution, because that costs more energy. So when you go into the caloric deficit, the first thing the body will say, I have those muscles, they cost energy, and I have this fat, which doesn't cost energy to sustain. I'm going to get rid of the muscles. That's a good idea, right? Which is why runners are skinny fat. So they lose the pecs, the lats, the delts, the arms, and keep very little muscle. Now, you must convince your body that somehow it has to keep the muscle. How do you do this? By weight training, by creating tension, okay? That also means there is no training for fat loss. So all this like high reps burn fat, that's all hocus pocus, okay? The training is strictly there to keep the muscle. So training for bulking and cutting doesn't really differ. You cover the strength curve, you use proper activation, you get as much tension as you can on the muscle, and you train as often as you can without going into the red zone, okay? Now, when you're cutting and you're in a caloric deficit, you might have less energy, so you probably do a set less here or there, okay? But the training does not change. There's no, I'm gonna go into a cutting workout. There's no such thing, okay? So then there's cardio. People say, oh, you gotta do cardio when trying to lose weight. Is that true? It depends. So cardio is not a great fat loss tool because we simply adapt to it too quickly. So if you are doing cardio every day, your body gets used to it and then you just burn fewer calories. Now, if you are a very small athlete and your deficit is just not very big, then extra cardio can help you to create a bigger deficit and get you there quicker, right? But cardio, what it burns is like a couple hundred calories. It's not that much, okay? And also, the more cardio you do, the less effective it becomes. So, you get my point. It is wise to focus on your training and your diet. So basically, here's how people start off when they lose weight. They want to lose weight and they're really well intended. They cut the calories dramatically and they amp the cardio to 2 hours a day and they do weight training with light weights only. That tells the body, holy shit, this is an emergency. Let me get rid of all the muscle I have and keep the fat. Also, if you start cutting your calories very low, where do you go from there? So you want to always eat as much as you can and train as little and still make progress. So ideally, you start out your cut without any cardio. Just focus on the weight training, you bring the calories down, and then after a couple of weeks, if it stalls, you add cardio in, okay? What about fat burners? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here's the really, really short version. The legal stuff is useless. There, very simple. Caffeine has some mild fat-burning properties, but it's more in the sense of that you can maybe train a bit harder if you're tired or it kills your appetite. All the other stuff that you buy in these fancy bottles are really pricey caffeine tablets. So you want to overspend on caffeine, be my guest, As for the illegal stuff, I won't get into that because that's a whole other conversation. So, to summarize it, when cutting, you have to understand that your body hates you. It doesn't want to do that. So the way to convince it is by using the muscle as often as you can in good form with high tension, not with garbage reps like this. Eat in a deficit and take your time, okay? So when you're thinking that you need 12 weeks diet, make it 20, okay? The more time you give yourself, the better it will work out in the end, okay? As I said, cardio you can add it in, but it's not the miracle weapon that people think it is. So for instance, someone like yours truly, who's a larger mammal and has a base of 4,000 calories, I can get lean without doing any cardio because I can easily cut 1,000 calories a day and that's that, But if it helps you with, your mental sanity or whatever, fine, get it in, okay? As always, thank you for watching. If you need a coach, I'm your guy, and Mike out.